This is my review on Batman Forever. When Batman turned into a toy commercial by Schumacher. Yeah, so it started with him and not Burton at all. Because Burton's was so grounded and serious, right? And not at all silly. We didn't saw the Penguin riding a rubber ducky. Controlling a remote control rubber ducky. And riding it. And driving one. In the movie, right? In the third act, we never saw that in the third act of Batman Returns, right? But why do I saw? Why? It's funny because nobody like mentions the strange shit of Batman Returns. But yes, but Forever is a stupid toy commercial. But Forever is Batman is like when it gets badly. A lot of people like lost interest because a lot of people like say this turns into a toy commercial at this point. You know, I argue Batman Returns turned into a toy commercial at that point once I saw Batman Returns after the first installment. Because it was stupid and stupid. And didn't took the source material seriously. And neither does this movie, and neither does the last one, Batman and Robin. That's right, they make Batman into a comedy pretty much from there on out once it gets to Batman Returns. Thanks, Burton, and thank you, Schumacher, for continuing. May you rot in your grave and roll in your grave. To both of you, even though one of you is still alive. But that's okay, we'll kick the bucket sooner or later. So, what I call this is a spoof. A comic book spoof genre of itself for the source material. Is once it gets to Batman Returns and it never stops. Not even in Batman and Robin. But that's the last time where it ends. That's where it ends. So, only that no one can reboot it. The character in a fresh light was in the Dark Knight franchise. I have come to the conclusion I've been reviewing all three of these movies. Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. Which I call them the toy commercial movies. Trilogy saga of Batman. The Caped Crusader. Has stopped moving forward with his dark progressive storytelling that the first one started off with. And goes back to the Adam West era tone, similar tone when you get to Batman Returns. And gets more similar to Adam West once you get more and more down the further into the rabbit hole down the end of the experience of the franchise, where it ends in Batman and Robin. And look, I love Adam West. I'll admit, I love Adam West Batman, but I can only take so much of him. I love Adam West Batman to a certain extent. Like I love Silver Age Batman to a certain extent. From the comics. I mean, the good one, but I prefer the more serious Batman because I feel like he's doesn't get old to me. Listening to him and like listening to him in the comic, like I mean, looking at the comics and stuff, and listening to and also cartoons and stuff. Some informations about others and certain live action ones. Are good. When they can work with the serious tone well. For serious Batman, but what I'm trying to say is I like the serious Batman more than the campy Batman from the comics. Book genre. And that's why I couldn't really get into Batman Returns ever. Even though I liked it a lot, it wasn't serious. It felt like a joke. Like, I'm wondering, is this a joke? Maybe Batman, I feel like this is a joke to him. This feels too silly. And too many corny lines, like when Batman says, "Eat floor, high fiber." He actually says shit like that. That's something you would expect Adam West, but not really Keaton's Batman. At least that's not what your first impressions be if you only saw the first Batman movie before this one. The guy kind of originally did. In Keaton's franchise. I saw his first one before the Returns. This movie was pretty dumb. Like, Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, laughable dumb was his writing. Is that cheesy dumb? Is True Lies dumb? The movie with Schwarzenegger, not the remake that happened in that recently and got turned into a series sometime in 2020 or 2010s era, I think. I saw a trailer of that. That's also on time on YouTube. That's all. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The point is, Batman Returns is dumb. Dumb, cheesy, fun, yummy. I love it. Anyway, that's cheesy fun. Like I love cheesecake. That's why I stay to this movie. That's why I give Batman Returns an 8 out of 10. Oh, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer in her Catwoman costume and how it hugs her body. I found out I find that very of a sexy look, and that's how her performance is. It's kind of just for even though she's not exactly an interesting character per se, I didn't thought, but she's definitely a sexy character. And entertaining in the role. As in funny. But so is everybody funny in this role. Even Dan DeVito is the charming, likable, intimidating villain as the Penguin. Yes, I can hold all opinions simultaneously for his character. Who was raised by a family of penguins when he was thrown into the sewers because he was very hated by his own parents because how ugly he was. And disturbed looking because of his birth defect, I guess. Oh, and also he ate a cat as a baby when he was in a cage. The little baby. Isn't that cute? Aw, that little vast is going to get a serial killer when grows up. Aw, they grow, and he wonders why his parents abandoned him and threw him in the sewers. Sometimes in these kind of cases, it might have been better to put him in Arkham Asylum instead. Or maybe a better psychiatric ward if he's like going to have those early signs. I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure there's easier way than to throw him than to murder it. I'm saying anything's better than murdering the kid and tossing in the sewer. Well, attempting murder. And failing at it, because penguins, a family of penguins in the sewer, yes, penguins in the sewer. What are these people smoking? Who are the ass clowns wrote this genius piece of horse shit of garbage of a script of a movie? That's so laughable and cheesy and dumb fun. Thank you, Burton. Tim Burton. I'm Jake. Stepped on snow. Out here. Oh, I'm glad that Kenan finally got rid of the old Batman costume and got finally a good, well-made Batman costume that's well detailed and a cool design and it doesn't look like poorly put together and looks like shit like the first one did. Let's be honest, the one from 1989 costume always did look like shit whenever it was in good quality lighting, unless it was dim lighting. But when you saw, well, let's be honest, didn't the costume look kind of goofy and like shit? Like the goofiest costume more than Steele's from Shaquille O'Neal's movie? Like that goofy? I thought. That's how I thought it was, how goofy I was, when you can see it in the proper lighting and a few times. Like, you know, if it's in a proper lit room, like the restaurant, you'll see how shitty it looks for a brief moment. And goofy it looks. And also when it's lit, when the helicopter shines a light on it from the Joker's helicopter for a brief moment. You'll see it and notice it. But once you notice it, you can never get it out of your head. At least I couldn't get it out of my head. That horrible, horrible costume. Raggedy costume was. Disgusting. Stupid. Yeah. But good thing is, that's got completely proper, good makeover in Batman Returns. Problem is, this is a stupid movie, and it's more goofy. Sure, the aesthetics is more, I will admit the aesthetic of the design is more in line with what I want from a Batman film. Like, it's more dark and goth looking. But then, the dialogue when the characters talk, these don't sound like serious characters. These sound like Saturday morning cartoon clowns, and I fucking hate it. The change and the inconsistency of how Batman is acting. Why? I mean, he didn't talk hardly ever in the first one, so. And it kind of worked fine for the ground screen time he had. And he has more screen time in this one, but he also talks more in this one, has more dialogue in this one. But he says some of the foolish things and commits some of the stupidest out of and says some of the stupidest things for Batman. Like even dumber than the lines Adam West had to say for his cheesy lines. And there was a lot of cheesy lines he had to say. Very unfunny cheesy lines. That often fell flat, but he was at least trying to give it his all of making it work, I felt. And so is Keaton. But these lines, the things that what you're getting Batman to say is fucking stupid. I'm just going to say it. Stupid, retarded. Full on. Cheese. Like Last Action Hero cheese. With Schwarzenegger, or Terminator 3, or Terminator 2 Judgment Day cheese. But I like it anyway. It's not dark, it's actually kind of silly of a movie. That's kind of what's not flying with me. I wanted a darker movie. With more Batman, that had a more serious tone, that didn't say the most stupidest fucking shit. It comes out of his, that's what we got. The stupidest fucking shit comes out of his mouth. You thought the bat nipples and, the bat nipples might be stupid, and the bat credit card might be a stupid Batman decision, but I'm sorry, but this Batman, Keaton's Batman is just most of a goof in this one, I found. Like, he couldn't tell that Catwoman was obviously pulling an act on him. And he really didn't hurt her. She was acting. Could you not see through that act? That she was trying to get him off guard, and it won. And Catwoman won that fight, by the way, because she got him off guard. Batman, world's greatest detective. He's the world's greatest detective I can't see when a woman's acting. Truly, he's the brains over bronze. And I thought it was annoying when Bane got dumb. Before I saw that, but then I saw this movie. I think it seemed more annoying that they made Batman dumb and incompetent, because he was the fucking hero of the film. I hate it when they did in the first one too. I mean, how come Batman couldn't even fucking kill the Joker? With all those bullets and missiles, and how can you miss so badly? And Joker can shoot him with one bullet down, and crashing the Batwing and almost dying, but just barely surviving and limping on his way up in the third act, as final encounter with the Joker, who we reveal that killed his parents and wants revenge for his parents' murder. Because he made him first. So it's time to get even. So Batman lets him fall to his doom by having him dangle to a gargoyle to his doom on the ground. It goes still. Kaboom. But even the corpse is laughing. Even Death's Joker's still getting a laugh. But for some reason, the corpse is laughing, and there's nothing showing where the laugh is coming from, other than it could be a corpse, but it's a corpse, or maybe the Joker's paralyzed, but I'm not sure. But it's fucking creepy. And I love that. Dark ending is fucked up. I realize I'm reviewing Batman first. Batman now. Okay, Batman is barely in this movie, I'll admit, but that doesn't bother me because this is the best Jack Nicholson movie ever, next to The Shining. Of his movies and his that I've seen, I think that he is the main role in. Yes, the Joker. This is a Joker movie. So, before the Joker movie basically happened. And it's even an origin story of the Joker. And this Joker kills stuff for no fucking real reason. Other than he seems to like it. Just because he's a coke nut. And he's like that even before he gets dipped in the vat of chemicals. Before his skin gets bleached and turns into the Joker, and then his crazy dial gets crazy, dials up to 11. Crazy out even more, becomes even more irrational, even more unstable, even more deranged, and funny. He becomes really funny. He develops a sense of humor. Once he gets dipped in the battle chemicals, he finally is funny. I was worried he wasn't going to be funny, but I was glad he was also funny and scary, and maybe it may give me the chills every time. He saves this movie to me. That's why I give it a 10 out of 10 Batman. Thanks, Joker. Thanks, Jack Nicholson. Now I'm reviewing Batman Forever. I give it 8 out of 10. Batman Forever. This time he's played by Val Kilmer instead of by Michael Keaton, though they're the same Batman. Yes, I know it's confusing. Just work with it. And roll with it. Apparently that's even though the movie has a different tone and well, it doesn't really have a different. It even has a more different style than Burton's. With like, it has lots of neon colors, lights when it's lit, and it can be a little distracting, and even more so in Batman and Robin, I thought. But we'll get to that later in this video. Excuse me. So, Batman Forever is another retelling of an origin story, but by retconning the origin story of the first installment, while continuing the story, while telling the story of Dick Grayson, the Boy Wonder, and his origin story, how it unfolds and ties into everything. In the origin story of the Riddler, it tells, in the origin story of Two-Face, it briefly touches on and gives a quick explanation on the news, on TV, and while we're seeing Riddler's story unfold throughout the 3-act structure of the rest of these story elements happening. That's Batman Forever. Too many story elements in this movie. It's trying to juggle at once, I found. It's scary. This game kind of scary, the story moment. And it's just seems more overwhelming and scary when we get to Batman and Robin, the installment. Which it gets even more confusing, trying to more story, more. But also trying to be more and more funny. More and more. And it gets overwhelming. It gets a bit much. I'm not going to lie, it gets a little much. There's only so much you can take before you have to say to yourself, okay, this has got to be the last one, or I'm going to fucking go and snap. That's what Batman and Robin is in a nutshell. Why I like it, though, and even though it has its flaws, I still like it. I give it an 8 out of 10. Mostly because I like the Uma Thurman, Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy in the movie, and what she, and her performance and what she dresses in. And I like the fact that I gotta admit, this has very sexy looking film, and everything is very gorgeous looking. And stupid. Very, very, very stupid. And what the fuck does this have to do with my hero Batman? As I ask myself this question every fucking day. Still giving it 8 out of 10. Batman Robin and Batman Forever and Batman Returns and get all three, get